Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this thank you card. I'm going to change the colour scheme. This one is Pool Party and I'm going to do today's in Blushing Bride. So I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. The card base is 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 scored at 4 1/8, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White, which measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then a piece of Blushing Bride, which measures 3 3/4 by 5 3/8, which is 9.7 by 13.7 centimetres. Excuse me a minute, I've got a tickle in my throat, hold on. Excuse me. Right, so next you need a piece of Whisper White, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, which is 13 by 8 centimetres. And then another piece of Whisper White, which is 2 inches by 3 inches, which is 5 by 7.5. The image that I'm using, that is all the flowers, it's from Accented Blooms, so that's all one stamp there, and then the thank you is that one, and that gets punched out with the tailored tag punch, although it's really quite easy enough for you to just cut that one out by itself. So I have already prepared my piece like this. I've done all the colouring and everything, but I am going to stamp it and show you how I do the colouring. I won't colour all of it because obviously it takes quite a lot of time to do that much. So to do the image, I'm going to be using black StazOn. I'll bring this down as close as I can to me. That's it. By the way, if you're new to card making and you're new to StazOn, inside you'll see there's a plastic lid in there which you must keep in there because it helps to stop that drying out. But what I do with mine is I put mine in the lid with a couple of dimensionals in there so that when it closes, the lid is always closed there in the right place. I've often meant to say that, but I'm always forgetting. Right, so I'm just going to ink my stamp up with my StazOn. Just line that up. It should be straight on my block. So let's have a look. Oh yes, that's all right. Yes, that's good. And I wanted to have a little butterfly up here, but when I had a look at all my new stamp sets and the old ones that have been brought forward, I don't seem to have a butterfly, apart from the one that's on the one that goes with the designer vellum. I know the paper's called Graceful Glass. I think it's stained glass, the stamp set, but that was too big for this one. So I'm going to have to go through the catalogue and have a look to see which stamp sets do have butterflies on and get myself one of those, because I don't like not having a butterfly. Okay, so the colours that I'm going to be using for this, I'm going to have Daffodil Delight for the centre of my flowers, Granny Apple Green for my leaves, Berry Burst, Melon Mambo and Blushing Bride. So this one up here I've done as Melon Mambo. So what I do with this, first of all I colour all, let's do the small one first. I do both of these the same, it's just that it's going to be quicker to do a smaller one. Okay, so I just go round very carefully, all around the outside first, so that I don't go over any edges. or at least I should say go over as few edges as possible. Unfortunately, I invariably go over, and it's normally more than once as well. Okay, so first of all, I colour that in to get a little bit of shading now, because you know I'm not really much of a colourer. So what I do is, with my brush tip, on all these little like the petals, the U shapes, as you can see on this one here, I just do another little line just on the inside of that U, and it just gives a darker line to it. It's very subtle, but as the ink dries it becomes a bit more noticeable. I'll bring the blue one up to you in a moment so you can see that. There we go. Okay, so that one's really dry, so you can get a better idea of the shading on it. I'll show you this one once I finish. In fact, no, I'll show you the one over there that I'll actually be using. So that's that big flower there. I'll do this one here, I think. And that colour I used Blushing Bride. This one's just far too big to do. So again, go around the edges first. When time is my own, I love colouring like this. Just to remind you that during July 2018, customers who shop in my online shop and place an order of £70 or more, they will receive from me a cardstock colour sample pack, which is a square of every colour of cardstock that we do. We received one when we went to convention last time, and I've made loads so that I can send one to each of my customers. And before I put the shading on this, I'll show you what I mean. Right, okay, so that's that all done. This is the cardstock colour sample. All the colours are labelled. I've got these ones in alphabetical order. So you get one sample of every cardstock that we have, which means you've got a chance to see all of them before you actually decide whether you want to buy them. This one is the one I received at convention, and this is in colour families. It's just that that one, I feel, this is how yours will arrive as well, but I find it easier just to have them in alphabetical order. It's not a colour coach, it is just a sample of all the colours. Anyway, let me explain about the shading on this one as well. So again, I just go round all the outsides with my brush. It's not that easy to see what's happening as you're actually doing it, but it is noticeable once you've done it. Those little flowers there, those three little ones, they get done the same with this Blushing Bride as well. There we go. And that's as far as I go with my shading on there. That shows up quite well, doesn't it? So that. This one here is Berry Burst. And again, it's just the same. In fact, that one looks as if I did it thick. What did I do on this one? More shading on that one, yeah. The shading on this is a bit different because this is quite a large area of petals. When I'm trying to do my colours for something like this, where I want 3 pinks, or with that one 3 blues that coordinate together, I do find that difficult to do, and I wasn't sure about the pink ones until I actually finished, and I was quite happy with the way it turned out. What I do with the bits in the centre of my flowers, I paint them with Daffodil Delight, but then I use my gold Wink of Stella pen. If you don't have a gold Wink of Stella, what you can do is just go over with a clear Wink of Stella. If you've painted it with Daffodil Delight, then it's going to get a similar sort of effect. Okay, so that's painted that solid. In fact, I've left quite a chunk there, haven't I, by that yellow. That's it. So what I do on this one is, first of all, I go around the outside again. And this one is more difficult because it is very, very dark. I don't know quite how well you can see it from where you are. I've gone over the edge on that side, but that's alright because that's got to be coloured anyway. But then what I do, you see how I've gone around the edges? Then I use my brush and I just do some straight lines going up where I can see the ink is lighter, because I just feel that on these flowers there's too big an area to leave it as light, and it's almost like just giving it like veins, I suppose. Yes, you can see that. See the straight lines going up from the centre. So that's how I would do all the flowers. One thing I'd say about the stems, and that is, this is one of the few occasions that I actually use my pen nib, because those stems are so fine. See, that just about keeps you within the lines. Okay, so that's those. Nothing special about the leaves. Shall I just do one of them? It's one of those where I just colour around the outside first, colour in the centre, and then around the outside again. And because it's got a line down there, I just do a little bit on the line too. Okay. I hope that's showing up all right. So that's how I do all my colouring. Oh, I also do the little bees, don't I? Let's do those. Which way round did I decide I had to go? That way. That's okay. And then I go over the wings with my clear wing of Stella. Oh, here we go. It just gives a little shine there, making the wings look translucent. And then I come in again with my Daffodil Delight. I tend to colour the two outside stripes. Just gets a little bit more yellow into the image rather than just one big yellow stripe on the middle. Okay, in fact I wonder if you could do, because those lines are so, let's have a go. I can say because those lines are so black, you could actually colour it all, couldn't you? Yes, there you go. That looks much better. I'll have to, excuse me while I top up this one. I could have painted it in with black, but that would have made the black too heavy, so as the lines are quite thick enough. Right, okay, so my finished one, which just needs those yellow bits painted in as well. There we go. So I'll hold this up to you so that you can see. If you just have a look at all the shading that I've done, you can see the stripes on these. You can certainly see it on there as well. Not quite as obvious, but just give you a couple of minutes to have a look. Okay, right, so let's put our card together. Right, so those two, let's do this one first. I can't see the top there. That's it. I could have done with being moved over a bit. Never mind. You must be thinking to yourself, go on Jan, go on, it's straight, it's straight. But I get such a different position, a view of it sitting where I am, looking at it sideways. Right, okay, so that's fine. Now I'm not going to pop that up onto dimensionals because I'm going to do the centre bit. I forgot about putting it on dimensionals when I did that one, so I'm not going to forget this time. I'll use Tombow for this one. Oh no, I forgot my ribbon now, haven't I? I should have put a ribbon around here. Oh, oh bother. Well, I don't think there's any chance of me getting that up, is there? I know if I used my heat tool, my heat gun, I could get it up. No, that's going to damage it. No, okay. So on that case then, I'm just going to pop a bow as it is. This is a retired ribbon. It's the same as this one. I loved this when Stampin' Up did it, and for, I don't know, 3 years or so, they kept coming out with different colours, the same style. It was really beautiful. And of course I bought all of them, but never worked my way right the way through them. So it's a bit of a waste, but never mind. Right, so let's do some bunny ears. That's one. That's two. Fold them over, push that one through the loop. And there we go. I think I was too busy talking about doing the, not doing the label bit, forgetting to do it on the last one, forgetting to put it onto dimensionals. But that's what happens with me, talk too much. There we go. That went a bit wonky. Let's measure it first. I think what I might do is I'm going to leave the bow there. If I put it there, it looks a bit silly on its own. So if I leave it there with the tails coming down, I think that will look better. So let's just tidy that one up a bit. That went a bit skew-whiff. Let's do this one so it looks about the same. Does it look any better the other side? Oh, let's look at that tidy bow. A notch rather. Looks really tidy. But that needs to be shortened a bit. That's better. How high? Just touching the paper, I think. So I'm going to use Tombow for this. With Tombow holding ribbons, it will hold it still, whereas I find with glue dots that the bows can still move a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that punch. I'll move the card in front of me. In fact, I'll need this, won't I? Is that a heavy one? Oh, it's a bit heavier. Right, that looks okay. Right, so the other bit of stamping I need to do is for the thank you. That's this one, and I'm going to be using Blush and Bride. I think that's a good cover. And I think maybe I should have given myself a bigger piece of cardstock than this. I'm not sure that there's going to be enough to hold on to. We're about to find out. Oh, that's all right. There we go. First of all, I'm going to put a couple of rhinestones on here. Oh, let's put this away first. Use some really nice sized ones. Oops. Try that again. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm just going to cut one in half so it's top and bottom. It really doesn't, oops, really doesn't need a whole one, top and bottom. Right, let's bring this back. Right, where's my tweezers? Right. Do this so that I can see black edging from the stamped image all around. There we go. There we are. Quite a simple card, but I like that. Disappointed with myself that I didn't put that round, but there you go. And just on the inside I've got another layer of white, and what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use our triple punch, and I'm going to use the fancy edging for it. Thank you notes, I never know whether to decorate the insides of them or not. Oh, I know, it's because I got my tear and tape underneath. I'm going to have to stand up. Probably not a good idea to put tear and tape on before you punch this. as you can see from the effort I'm having to put into it. And with this, you only need to press the centre, whichever one you're using of the three. Don't know, can you see that? Yeah, the corner rounder, the fancy one, and that one punches a little hole. If you've got something straight, it's not a particularly good piece to show you with, but imagine you were making that into a tag. Let's see if I can do it. Yes. Okay, so I just did a little hole like that for you. It's a really, really brilliant punch. And what I like about the corner rounder, as you know, I've always been using the Project Life corner rounder, which I've always been very happy with. But now that we've got that one, I didn't realise that the Project Life one was a very sharp curve, whereas this one is a lot softer. It's a bigger curve, if that makes any sense. As you can see, this was right underneath and I was punching that. On the blue card, I'll show you in a moment, but I did, when I punched these, I also did the corner rounder on them as well, because it will take both, but I didn't like it. But I'll show you, because then you can decide whether you like it or not. Okay. So you have a choice. The corner rounder on that will fit on here as well with this decoration. But yeah, I definitely prefer it square. So there you go. That's today's project. I hope you like it and I hope you give it a try. But do remember, before you put the white and pink layer onto your card base, put your ribbon around it first. It looks a lot nicer like that. Anyway, many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you out. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, not this particular ribbon I'm afraid, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. Also in the box below will be all the measurements and the products that I've used. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And two special offers that Stampin' Up have during July. One is if you buy 3 packs of Designer Series paper from a list, it's not the specialty papers, but there's a long list of papers that are covered by this. If you buy 3 packets, you can choose a 4th packet free. Even whether you buy 3 packets the same and you want another one the same, that's fine, or you want all 4 different, whatever, you can mix and match. If you do shop in my online shop during July, please try and remember to use the HOSTESS code, and then at the end of the month you'll receive a free product from me. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.